It's very exciting to see Buky Schwartz back in New York with an artwork of his installation at the Bryce Walkowitz Gallery. And the Bryce Walkowitz Gallery is a very exciting new space that's representing new directions that artists are taking in media arts as well as its history. And I think including Buky was a terrific idea because his work speaks to a new generation with the surprise and excitement of seeing the work because of how he explores the medium. And at the same time, it shows the link across time, across history, to what artists are doing with new media today in an exhibition that's very much about interactivity. It's about how art changes as we look at it and spend time with it, how the materials change through new media. And what has Buky been doing but changing the very language of sculpture by bringing the medium of video to it and giving us a new visual, perceptual experience.
See this building, Bleecker Corner of Elizabeth. My studio was above the arch on the 6th floor. I painted the whole studio in white, the walls, the floor, to start working. But I didn't know what I was going to do, but I thought it would be a neutral beginning.
Here he has studied sculpture in England at St. Martin's School. He studied with Anthony Caro. He was interested in sculpture as materials could change how we could look at an object. And when he came to New York, he became very much involved in the mid-70s with this medium of video, which he saw as an instrument and the means to expand the language of sculpture by bringing a new medium and material to it. Because at the heart of Buky's work is that art is an adventure of perception.
The things were much more instinctive in terms of, I move this way and I look at the monitor and I know that it's the right way, but it's not. It's complicated to explain the process in the mind, because on the screen it's simple. The first piece that I did in the studio was like a perspective of a cube, of a big cube that was viewed by the video camera and seen on the screen. And I realized that I have something there that is very exciting. And how did I realize it? That each time that I switched off the video, I went back and I switched it on to see it again, to see that it's really working. I thought it was a completely different explanation for sculpture. I didn't think about video then, but I thought there is another dimension here that was not mentioned in the textbook before. And I was so excited about it, and I'm telling you, I don't remember exactly why I was so excited, but I thought I have something that nobody did before. And I asked my friend who might be interested in a new development in video. Nobody called it video art then even. And they said, why don't you call it Whitney?
He called me in the late 70s at the Whitney Museum, where I was curator of film and video, and said, John, I would like you to come to my studio. And so I said, and I'd heard something about his work at OK Harris Gallery and so forth, and went down and began to see this work in this fantastic way that he was using the means of video to, in real time, expand and give this other dimension to sculpture and installation. And said, Buky, I have to show your work at the Whitney. It really belongs there in an exhibition. I'm developing this big exhibition. This is 1979, a show of film and video installations. And, you know, Buky loves to tell the story that I, you know, invited him to do the show, and he kept saying, well, John, don't I need, you know, a letter from you or something? I said, no, Buky, the handshake is it. And this is the way, at this time, and it's been that way throughout my career, working with artists. It isn't about working through galleries or anything. It's just working directly with an artist. When Yellow Triangle was fully installed in the gallery space at the Whitney Museum, the results were extraordinary. Because here was seen, you know, a new dimension to how video could really change the languages of art making. Because when you stood in the gallery and looked at the monitor, you saw this yellow triangle, this geometric shape. It only existed on the monitor, because standing in the space, you were in the middle of planes of yellow on the floor and on the walls that were in the space. And it became a signature work of Buky's. It became later a part of the Whitney Museum collection and has been shown as part of the collection in various exhibitions, and held an important place in video art history in terms of, again, expanding and developing the languages of art making through this medium.